I've reached where I have Ezekiel Kralen's story for this week. The Initiation Continues Unabated is the title Ezekiel Kralen wrote. Email correspondence from May 10th last year. Subject, Glob's Messenger hindsight is keeping me busy these days. Date, May 10th, afternoon. Jeebus on a splintery wooden dildo. I've been trying to get this piece done, but then I was rudely interrupted by that 3-day notice to pay or quit, so I had to deal with that before continuing with this. What a clown show a blah blah realty et al. Are. At any rate, let's get on with the show. Though I suspect it's Terry Pterodactyl in disguise playing that role, the cheap platinum wig gives it away. Around 9:30 a.m., I heard loud rap music playing across the street, so I figured it might be you-know-who. It was, walking the dogs with a granny cart carrying the speaker. I tried to catch a video of the scene, but he was already by the corner when I had my camera pointed at them, but the tree's leaves outside my window blocked the view. He looked good, dressed nicely, pups looked good as well. Per my bodhisattva premise, I'm being tested, or better said, initiated, setting the dogs up in a dangerous situation to see if I'd do the right thing, which I did, including lambasting their master for such careless disregard. This implies the dogs are somehow protected from any harm, no matter how bad the scenario appears, something which bodhisattva guardians are quite capable of doing. Sidebar. I want to make it absolutely clear that believing this does not mean one should turn a blind eye toward a perceived wrong, but should always speak out and take whatever action necessary to thwart potential harm. My LARC adventure was the turning point, and my life was changed radically since then, for the better. I've drastically reduced my time spent watching informative YouTube videos because much more of my time is now taken up writing about the increasing number of startling events going on in my life these days. After LARC, L-A-R-C, came to my general denial to plaintiff's attorney and eventually sending a copy of these denials to a blah-blah's attorney. Deke's vast improvement, re his behavior and attitude, then this sudden setback. Larkin, excuse me just a moment. Carelessly pulled the lever on the bottom of the side of the chair and sank down to the floor. Where the fuck was I? Sorry about that. Oh, dear. I've drastically reduced my time spent watching informative YouTube videos because much more of my time is now taken up writing about the increased number of startling events going on in my life these days. After LARC came my general denial to plaintiff's attorney and eventually sending a copy of these denials to a blah-blah's attorney. Deke's vast improvement, re his behavior and attitude, then this sudden setback. Larkin resuming his boisterous yodeling along Market Street across from my building these past few weeks, followed by his unexpected presence at Molly Stone's, because I figured he works later in the day, not to mention the revelation that grew out of that, and finally, at least for now, my surprise 3-day notice to pay or quit. Sidebar. I love my sidebars. I hope you do too. After seeing Larkin yesterday and hearing his amazing voice, I felt all my dreams invigorated and my premise affirmed. To have him actually speak to me would have sullied the experience, that is, watered down a powerful uplifting of my spirit. In other words, his verbal acknowledgement would likely have stifled my creative outpouring and would never have that delightful muffin badinage with Terry Pterodactyl to share with the world. All these intense episodes in such a short span of time indicate one thing and one thing only in this bedazzled pilgrim's eyes, a culmination of my Brindlekin adventures, which then implies that breakthrough, where I become known and celebrated across the world, starting with San Francisco, of course. Remember, Watson, per my Bodhisattva premise, all folks involved are actors, and some play my enemy in order to make me into the hero of my own show. It's all scripted, including Deke's egregious setback, a blah-blah realty's attorney, my attorney, the building manager, and so on, and a Bodhisattva stirring up mischief always leaves a clue. In the case of my second 3-day notice, that clue is the claim for rent due, the sum of which is incorrect. They're having fun with me is all, including Magdalena. They're all in on it, as I've said many times before. Now, in ending this email, this video I shot just minutes ago while composing this piece, showing our building manager being assisted from vehicle to building, someone's paying his dues for all the wickedness he's manifested. Now, how synchronistic is that? A perfect ending to this, my latest tale, 'cause not of my own doing. Signed, Zeke K. Holmes. P.S. This morning I upgraded my Xfinity service from 50 megabits per second to 100. Still fully covered by Affordable Connectivity Program. Looks like my upload speed has also been doubled from 10 to 20 megabits per second. Huzzah! P.P.S. Now for a delightful repast of Twining's black currant tea, Thomas's multigrain English muffin, and Trader Joe's frozen cherries. I should get paid for the advertising, and further down the pike I surely will. Addendum. Smartphone archives are back. Turned out my Xfinity upgrade shut down my modem for several minutes. This then thwarted my VPN service, which I had to manually turn back on. I have it set to block my connection should it not be running. An excellent security measure. So now that I have the VPN activated once more, my archives are visible again. Phew. Subject, attorney's next reply and my response. Date May 10th, evening. Her latest email arrived just moments ago. This is fun in a weird kind of way. Attorney says, okay, thank you. I will reach out to the landlord's attorney and demand to rescind the 3-day notice. I will also mention that you can pay all back rent right now. If they file and serve a summons and complaint on this, we can probably file another demurrer because of the incorrect rent amount. Is your monthly rent amount written down somewhere? I think you don't have a copy of the lease, right? Or do you have receipts for your previous payments showing what you paid? We have $3,017 in our trust account. I wrote, I have records of my rent checks in my online bank account, a snapshot of each check. I have April and May's amount in my bank account, which, added to my escrow, gives me the correct total of all payment due. Maybe it's better if I deposit that remaining amount into escrow and have BALA send them the payment. I don't know how I should pay my rent going forward, as I don't trust our building manager at this point. Perhaps send a check each month directly to a blah blah via certified mail. Do you have a better idea? Thanks again, Magdalena. Signed, Zeke the Persistent. End. And subject, one more email from Magdalena. Date May 10th, nighttime. Nice that she bothered to post to me well beyond working hours. I swear, Watson, I wasted most of my day trying to get this bullshit straightened out. Attorney wrote, okay, you can come in tomorrow between 9:30 and 4:30 for the trust account, and then we can write a check to the landlord. I can ask the landlord's attorney to have the landlord provide receipts to you for each rental payment you make in the future, ? Or, yes, we can ask the landlord's attorney if you can pay by mail, ? I wrote, but the check you cut is only partial payment. So should I bring you a cashier's check for the remainder so you can write out the payment in full? As for getting a receipt, don't see how I'd get one immediately upon giving the landlord my check unless I drop by his office in person. Mailing is dicey, too, unless I send it certified. If I bring my check to the manager, he may not be around in person to give me a receipt on the last day due, besides which he's very ill and may not be able to answer the door. Anyway, talk with you tomorrow. I can show up as early as 10, though I'd like to know if I should bring a cashier's check for the difference so I can do that before dropping over. The added portion would be $602.08 for a total of $3,619.08 at $301.59 per month. And what about April's check? Should I stop payment on it? It'll cost me $25. I can manage the fee, though not happy about it. I also need a copy of my escrow account showing all deposits made, which may be necessary to prevent plaintiff's attorney from skimming money from my account, since at least one of the months shows my bank account to have over double my monthly income. That's only because I didn't deposit to escrow every month, but paid in 2 lump sums. With my escrow statement, plaintiff's attorney will see 2 withdrawals from my account that perfectly match the escrow deposits, proving they were solely rent payments. A blah blah really should have set up electronic payment years ago. Thanks again. Have a lovely evening. End. Now get this, Watson. Yesterday, the Thunderbird email client I used to back up all my Gmail conversations regarding both lawsuits wiped out all my mail as a result of a simple update. So now I have to resort to Google Takeout to back up all my Gmail into a format that is less than convenient, but doable. To be continued.